大家好，我是高老师，欢迎你回到 CHI 113的频道。今天我们要继续学第3课。第3课说什么？好的，跟我说时间。时间。Hey everybody, this is Gao 老师 and welcome back to CHI 113. In this pre-class video, we'll be focusing on the latter portion of Lesson 3, Dialogue 1. Before the next class session, this video is going to help you accomplish the following learning objectives. Number 1, you will be able to understand and pronounce, using the correct tones, all of the assigned vocab words from Lesson 3, Dialogue 1. Number 2, you'll be able to read and fully comprehend on your own the dialogue. Number 3, you should have a basic understanding of the dialogue's main grammar points, and there are 2 that we will focus on here in this pre-class video. And finally, you should be able to read and write all of the characters from Lesson 3, Dialogue 1 before our next class's in-class quiz. 准备好了吗？好的，我们开始吧。Before we get to the audio of the vocab words and the dialogue, let's review, or 复习, a little bit here. Try your best to translate the following dates or time phrases using the proper order. So number 1, May 25th, 2003. 中文怎么说? You would start with the year. 2003年, then the month, 5月, followed by the day of the month, 25号. Number 2, Monday, March 27th, 2023. Again, we'd start with the year, 2023年, the month, 3月, the day of the month, 27号, followed by the day of the week, 星期一. Let's begin preparing for the next class by first listening to the audio of our new vocab words. If you want to follow along in your textbook, please turn to page 75. And don't forget, when you hear the speaker pronounce these words, please try your best to mimic their pronunciation out loud.
19.
喜欢
To like. 20.
菜
Dishes. Cuisine. 21.
还是
Or. 22.
可是
But. 23.
我们
We. 24.
点
O'clock. Literally, dot, point. Thus, points on the clock. 25.
半
Half an hour. 26.
晚上
Evening, night. 27.
见
To see. 28.
再见
Goodbye. See you again.
再
Again.
And the proper noun from this lesson is 英国. 英国, meaning Britain. Please go back now and listen to this audio at least 2 to 3 more times, repeating out loud what you hear. Let's move on now and listen to the audio from the textbook dialogue. To follow along in your own textbook, please turn to page 72.
Lesson 3. Dialogue 1. Taking someone out to eat on his or her birthday.
白英爱，9月12号是星期几？
是星期四。
那天是我的生日。
是吗？你今年多大
18岁。
我星期四请你吃饭，怎么样？
太好了，谢谢，谢谢。
你喜欢吃中国菜还是美国菜？
我是英国人，可是我喜欢吃中国菜。
好，我们吃中国菜。
星期四几点
7:30怎么样？
好？星期四晚上见。
再见。
Please go back and listen to this audio at least 2 more times, making sure you can fully understand what both speakers are saying. Don't forget that if you want more practice with our new vocab words from Lesson 3, Dialogue 1, you can always use Quizlet. Just scan the QR code on this slide or click on the link in the video's description below. So let's focus on the first grammar point that we'll be really discussing in more depth during our next class session. And that is asking an alternative question using 还是. So here, where the blue arrow is on the screen, 白英爱, she says, 你喜欢吃中国菜还是美国菜? So she's asking 高文中 whether or not he likes to eat Chinese food or American food. So importantly, this 还是 is used to ask a question. In English, we'll often throw out or, not necessarily in a statement that is a question. But in Chinese, remember, when you're using this 还是, it is turning the sentence into a question. Let's look at a couple of examples. Number 1, 你是学生还是老师? Right? Are you a student or a teacher? It's a question. Number 2, 你是美国人还是中国人? Are you an American or a Chinese? And as you can see in these two examples, if there is another verb used in the first clause, and here the verb is 是, to be, then you don't need to use it in the latter part of the sentence. For example, if I asked you, 你喜欢中国菜还是美国菜? Notice how I did not repeat the verb 喜欢, to like. Now maybe you like both of them. How would you say that in Chinese? Well, you could say 中国菜和美国菜我都喜欢. Literally, Chinese food and American food. I like them both. 我都喜欢. So let's get some more practice using this alternative question, 还是. If we wanted to ask about Wang Peng's national identity, we could ask him, are you Chinese or American? Right? We could say, 他是中国人还是美国人? Right? Is he Chinese or American? If we wanted to ask, or if I wanted to ask you about your eating preferences, whether you like Chinese food or American food, I could use this pattern, 还是. How do you think I would ask you that? I could say, 你喜欢吃中国菜还是美国菜? So do you like to eat Chinese food or American food? Let's say we wanted to ask if Li 先生, this image here on the slide, and I'll circle him just to make sure you know who I'm talking about here. Let's say we wanted to ask about this person, about their identity. Are they a teacher or are they a doctor? How would we do that? 李先生是老师还是医生? Now let's say we wanted to ask what day today is. And I've got it circled here on the calendar. So is today Wednesday or Thursday? 中文怎么说? We could say 今天是星期三还是星期四? So that's how we would use that's how we would make an alternative question using the characters 还是. And don't forget, when you use these characters 还是, you're always asking a question.
好的，我们练习一下。Let's take a moment now to practice using 还是. So please pause the video now and translate the following two sentences below using 还是. 第一，你是中国人还是美国人？你是中国人还是美国人？第二，李有姐姐还是有妹妹？李有姐姐还是有妹妹？
The final thing we want to focus on in this part of the dialogue is very important, and that is telling time. So in the text here, you can see where the blue arrow is. 白英爱, she's asking a question to Gao Wenzhong. She says, 7点半怎么样? So 7:30, how does that sound? 7点半怎么样? So let's look at telling time here a bit closer. These are some of the key terms you're going to need to know in order to tell time. So to say o'clock, we can say 点, or you could say 点钟. Oftentimes you'll leave the 钟 off. Half an hour would be 半. Quarter hour, 刻. And then for minutes, we can use 分. 好，我们来练习. When you want to ask someone the time, this is a very common expression. You can say 现在, meaning right now, 几点, what time is it right now? Sometimes you'll hear people say 现在几点了? 现在几点了? They're both okay. So if I was going to ask you, 现在几点了? How would you answer this? 现在几点了? You could say 2点. Notice how I did not say 2点, but rather said 2点. 好，现在几点了? 现在几点了? Here you would say 12, sure, 2点, followed by 半, meaning half an hour. 好，现在几点钟？现在几点钟？ Here you would say 4点3刻. So the 刻 again means quarter hour. So since there's 3 quarters here, right, because we have 45, you would put 3 in front. 现在几点了？现在几点了？ You could say 现在6点07, and then the 分 here is optional. You don't need the 分 if there are 2 digits at the end. So let's practice some more. 现在几点钟？现在几点钟？ You could say 现在5点15. Right? So you could say right now it's 5:15. Or you could say 现在5点1刻, using this quarter hour. 好，现在几点钟？现在几点钟？ You would say 现在4点. Right? It's 4 o'clock. 现在4点. 好，现在几点了？现在几点了？ You would say 现在3点05.
现在3:05. Don't forget the 0 in there. And because there are 2 syllables here at the end, or 2 digits, you don't need the 分. 好，现在几点钟? You could say 现在6:30. So 6:30. 现在几点钟？现在几点钟？现在7:40。现在7:40. And the 分 here would be optional as well because there are 2 digits here at the end. 好，现在几点了？现在几点了？ You could say 现在9:55. 现在9:55. 9:55. And our last one. 现在几点钟？现在几点钟？ So there's 2 ways you could respond to this question. Number 1, you could say 现在11:45. So literally right now 11:45. Or you could say 现在11:03. Right now 11:75 hours. 3刻。
好的，我们练习。Let's take a moment now to review what we just learned. So please pause the video and try your best to say the following times in Chinese. 第一，3:03刻，3:03刻 Or you could say 3:45 3:45 The 45 part here just means 45. 第二，4点第三，9:09 9:09 And don't forget, when you have a 09 or 08 or 07, we're gonna need the ling in front of the number that comes after it. So we say 9:09.
So for additional explanations and examples, please do reference your textbook. It's very, very handy, and they have excellent explanations in there. The pages you would reference for this part of the dialogue are pages 79 to 80 and page 82. So now that you got a basic understanding of the grammar points, and you feel comfortable pronouncing the assigned vocab words, and you can read the dialogue on your own, now it's time to start practicing writing the characters. So the first character, the first word you want to learn for the next class session is 喜欢, 喜欢, meaning to like. 菜, 菜, meaning dish or cuisine. 还是, 还是, meaning or. And don't forget, it's used to ask a question. 可是, 可是 is a conjunction meaning but or however. 我们, 我们 means we or us. 点, 点 means a clock. And don't forget the number goes before it. 半, 半 can mean half, or if you're telling time, it means half an hour. 晚上, 晚上 meaning evening or night. 见, 见 meaning to see. 再见, 再见 which is what I say at the end of every video, meaning goodbye. 在, 在 which means again. And finally, 英国, 英国, meaning Britain. So far, all of my recommendations have been language-based. Today, I want to share with you a cultural resource you can use. If you enjoy watching TV drama series, please do check out this really cool website from the China Project. It provides brief descriptions and trailers for a number of really good Mandarin language TV shows coming out of the Sinophone world, like Taiwan, Malaysia, Indonesia, as well as I think one or two from mainland China. What's really cool about this website is once you go there, you'll be able to view the trailers for various TV drama series, and you'll see that all of these TV drama series are available via Netflix, HBO, or other streaming platforms, and they include English and Chinese subtitles. So not only a good way to become more familiar with Chinese culture, but also a good way to continue to build your language skills. Just scan the QR code on this slide or click on the link below in the description section. And finally, once you feel comfortable with all of the vocab words, the characters, and the grammar points from Lesson 3 Dialogue 1, please don't forget to take the Lesson 3 Dialogue 1 Part 3 pre-class practice quiz in Canvas before our next class session. 好的，谢谢大家，下次见，再见。